Hello, this is Yogeshwar 7000 again, and I'm back on my series on stories from the Puranas. And today we'll be talking about a very, very interesting story from the Puranas, directly coming from the Puranas. And this story is about the birth of Budha. Budha is a planet Mercury, as we all know. And there's a story in the Puranas how Buddha was born, and it actually also involves two other planets, which are the planet Moon, and as we know that in Vedic astrology we consider Moon as a planet, and also the planet Jupiter, or you could even call them gods. The god Moon and the god Jupiter is also involved in this story, and it is about the birth of Buddha. In Vedic astrology, it is a planet, considered a planet, but he is one of the gods of the entire group of gods which come under the king of gods, Indra. So these three gods are involved in this story, and we'll just talk about how Buddha, or Lord Buddha, or God Buddha, or the planet Buddha, whichever way you want to call him or address him, was born. So this is the story. Brahaspati, or Guru, or Jupiter as he's called, had a very, very beautiful wife, exceedingly beautiful. And Jupiter's wife is Tara, and she was full of youth and beauty. And one day she visited the moon, the god Moon, and she wanted to help the god Moon for a certain sacrifice, or a certain ritual rather, which god Jupiter was performing at his house. And as soon as god Moon saw Tara, Moon became very passionate because she was so beautiful. Tara was so beautiful. And on the other side, as we all know, Moon is a very handsome god as well. So when Tara saw Moon, she also became very, very passionate about him. So much so that they were both smitten by the arrows of Cupid. And they were so much attracted to each other that they actually became physical with each other. And then Tara decided to stay back at Moon's house. She did not return to her husband Jupiter's house. And Jupiter, as we know, that is the guru of all the gods. Some days passed, and then Jupiter was a little confused, so he sent his another pupil to bring back Tara. And then Tara at that point refused to come back to Jupiter's home, and Jupiter kept sending his pupil again and again to Moon's house to get his wife back. But every time his pupil went and requested and asked her to come back home because her husband wanted her home, Tara refused. She refused to come back. So one day Jupiter decided to go himself to Moon's house, and he spoke very angrily to Moon, and he said that, "Oh Moon, why are you committing this act? This is contrary to dharma, or the way of life, how it should be followed. Rather, dharma is not directly religion. I wouldn't say it's religion, but it's the right way of life. So why are you doing this act which is against dharma? Why are you keeping my beautiful wife in your house? I'm your guru, I'm your teacher, and that is very, very against the moral ways of living." And he reminded Moon that whoever who kills a Brahmin, whoever who steals gold, whoever drinks, and whoever makes a relationship with his guru's or his teacher's wife are great sinners as per the Vedas. So he reminded them. So one of the advantages of reading the scriptures, especially the Puranas, is that you can get a lot of insights of a lot of things which we may consider moral in today's day and age, which was as per the scriptures and as per the Vedas and as per the religious practices of ancient Hindus, was not. So we learn a lot from what was the right way of living. And of course, that was as per those days and ages, and today the standards, the moral standards could be different. But still, we get an idea, and that is one of the advantages of going through the Vedas and through the Upanishads and through the Puranas. And this is what Jupiter reminded Moon, that, I'll repeat, whoever kills a Brahmin, whoever steals gold, whoever drinks, and whoever has a relationship with the wife of one's guru or teacher are great sinners. So he said, please, please return my wife. And to which Moon said, well, I know you are a great Brahmin and you know all the religious scriptures and the Shastras, but here it is. Your wife Tara does not want to come back to your house. I'm not keeping her with force. She herself decides to stay with me. She does not want to come back to your home as your wife. So what is my fault in this whole thing? So hearing this, Jupiter became angry again, and he called him stupid, and he said, please, please return my wife, in a fit of anger, or else he would curse the moon and reduce the moon to ashes. And Moon was not disturbed at all by this threat, and he even ridiculed Jupiter, and he said, well, you are stupid, and you don't know anything about the art of love making, and that's the reason why your wife does not want to stay with you, and she wants to stay in my house. She's not fit to stay. You're not fit to keep her, and her real place is here in my home. That's what Moon told Jupiter, and he told Jupiter to go back. He kind of insulted his guru and a great Brahmin, which is not right, of course, again, but he was so much passionately involved with Jupiter's wife that he did not differentiate between good and bad at that time, and he just asked him to leave, and he told him, do whatever you like, I am not going to return your wife. And your wife, of course, she herself chooses to stay with me. So Jupiter was very, very upset and very angry, and he left, and he went directly from there to Indra's house. And Indra, as you know, is the king of the gods. So once Indra saw his guru Jupiter very, very unhappy and sad, he asked him, what's the matter, O great Brahmin? Who has insulted you in my kingdom? Why are you so sad? And then Jupiter told the whole story to Indra, King Indra, and he said, well, Chandra has, or Moon, Chandra is a Sanskrit name for moon, Chandra has stolen my beautiful wife, and I kept asking him again and again and again, but he does not want to return my wife at all. So I am requesting you, I am praying to you, O King Indra, that please help me in this matter. And to which Indra said, Indra was a very kind-hearted person, a very large-hearted person. He says, well, you are a knower of dharma, which is the right way of life. Do not worry at all. I'm going to help you. And I'm going to send a messenger to him, and I'm going to ask your wife back for you. And if Moon, or Chandra, as he's called again in Sanskrit, does not return your wife, I'm going to wage war on him and fight him. with all our armies of the gods, the Deva armies. So he kind of consoled Jupiter, and Jupiter then sent a messenger again, who was a very good orator and a speaker, and he went to Chandraloka, which is the home of Chandra or moon, and he said, well, I have been sent by King Indra to communicate this message to you, that you know very well what dharma is, what's the right way of life, and you should not be committing such an act of taking away your guru's or your teacher's wife. So please return the wife back to your teacher Jupiter, or else Indra has decided to wage war against you and take Jupiter's wife back forcefully. And when Moon heard these words from the messenger, he became somewhat angry, and he said, oh well, I understand what you're saying. However, I'm very sorry that the wife herself is not willing to stay with the husband. So according to the rules of dharma and the way of life, it is not right. She herself has decided to stay with me. So please communicate to Lord Indra or the King Indra that he can do whatever he wishes to do, but I am not going to return Jupiter's wife to him, because it's her choice, and the beautiful Tara, Jupiter's wife, belongs to me. So the messenger went back to Indra, and he communicated to him all what Moon or Chandradeva had spoken. And hearing this, obviously, as we all know, this was expected that Indra would become angry, and Indra did become angry, and he ordered all the armies of the Devas or the gods to get ready at once. And once there was news of war, the planet Venus, who's also Shukracharya, he went out to Moon, because he isn't considered to be an enemy to Jupiter. So Venus went to Moon and told him that do not return Tara to Jupiter, and in case there is a war, I'm going to help you with my mantra Shakti. So as we all know, Venus has the power of the mantras. So this is another insight we are getting from the Puranas, that yes, it is, the Puranas are confirming that Venus is extremely powerful as far as mantra science is concerned. So that's what he kind of gave Moon the confidence that he should not worry even if all the gods are waging war against him, do not return Tara back to Jupiter, and he will help Moon with the power of his mantras. And of course he did that because Venus is inimical to Jupiter. On the other side, Lord Shiva, when he heard about this act of Moon taking away his guru's wife, he was very angry as well. So he came to the assistance of the Devas or the gods. And then the war started, and this war started between the gods and Moon, and it was a very terrific war, and could be compared to the Great War which was fought by the gods along with Skanda against Tarkasura. As we all know that Kartikeya, or Skanda as he's called, waged a war along with the other gods against Tarkasura, the great demon. And this war was as terrific as that war. It was compared to that kind of a fierce war that happened between the gods and Tarkasura. And this war continued for many years. And then there was extreme havoc everywhere. And Brahma, then when he saw great havoc, and he is the god of creation, he didn't like what's going on. So he went to Moon and he said, okay, now time up. Please return your guru's wife back. Return Jupiter's wife Tara back to Jupiter. And if you don't, I'm going to call Vishnu and destroy you completely. And when Vishnu's name came, there was a slight concern. And then Shukracharya, or the planet Venus, or the god Venus, he said to Moon that now it's time that you should return your guru Jupiter's wife to Jupiter, because he was concerned that if Vishnu comes into the war, he's going to use the Sudarshan Chakra and he's going to destroy, and he's going to completely finish Moon. So he gave his word of advice that it's high time now, since all the gods are against him and even Vishnu is probably going to come if Brahma requests him, then there's no way that he could win the war. So please go ahead and return Tara, Jupiter's wife, to Jupiter. And then, hearing this, Chandra, or Moon, did return Tara back to Jupiter. And however, when Tara went back to Jupiter, she was already pregnant. And Jupiter returned with joy to his house with his wife Tara, and the Devas, or the gods, and Lord Shiva and Brahma went to their respective abodes. And then time passed. However, Tara was pregnant, and after some time she gave birth to a son who had all the qualities of Chandra, or Moon. He looked like the Moon completely. However, Jupiter was not aware that he was Moon's son, so he performed the ceremonies for the child when the child was born. And then when Chandra, or Moon, came to know of the child, he sent a messenger to Jupiter saying that this child is not Jupiter's, but it is Moon's child, it's his child. So he asked the messenger to tell Jupiter, do not perform the ceremonies as if he was his son, because this child, which was born from the womb of Tara, is actually Moon's child. And then again, there was a total confusion, and again the war started between the god Moon and the god Jupiter. And again, the gods met each other in the battlefield. And then, again, a very, very terrible war started. So again, Lord Brahma was concerned because he didn't want to see all this havoc going on in the world. So he said, okay, I'll find a solution. He went to Tara and said, okay, Tara, tell me, you would know, you're the mother, you would actually know, whose child is it? Is it Moon's child or Jupiter's child? And to this question, Tara said, and gently told Brahma, this is Chandra's, or Moon's child. And then Chandra was very happy. He took the child and he named the child as Budha, which is called Mercury in English. But the Sanskrit name which Chandra, or Moon, gave to his son was Budha. And then, of course, the gods and Lord Brahma and Lord Indra and other gods and devas went back to their respective abodes because they didn't have an answer. There was no reason to continue with the war because Tara herself admitted that this is Chandra's son, Moon's son, and not Jupiter's son. And it was Moon who had named his son as Budha, not Jupiter. So this was a little story of how Budha, god Budha, or the planet Mercury, or the planet Budha as you may call it, was born. And this is coming directly from the Puranas, so I will request you to have complete faith and belief in it. And hopefully you did enjoy this story. And in the meanwhile, I will recommend subscribe to my channel and check out my website. There is a link below, and I will see you in the continuation of my series to stories from the Puranas very soon. Goodbye.